Hey everyone, it's Troy Jackson with the weekly update. This past Monday was MLK Day. Martin Luther King, in my mind, was one of the most courageous people that I can think of, and lost his life because he took such a principled stand on something that should be so simple, so natural for all of us, that we all should be able to live, work, raise a family without fear of anything, but certainly not the fear of the color of your skin. So also this week, the CDC came out with a guideline for those that are 70 years and older to get the vaccine, and setting up all these sites. We've had a lot of activity this week, people trying to find out about that, people trying to sign up. So we're going to include the link for people to sign up for that, so we can get over this crisis as soon as possible, make sure that people that are going to be affected the most get their vaccine, and so then we can move on down to people younger than 70, which is obviously the age I'm in. We need to make sure that we get vaccines and get them out and get people covered across the state. So on Wednesday was the inauguration of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. I know obviously we have a very divided country right now, but they are our duly elected President and Vice President. And so I'm looking forward to working with them, as a state, trying to get things done that, is very much needed. Obviously, the COVID crisis, economic security, making sure that, we have a better health care, prescription drug coverage. A number of the bills that we've talked about here on these weekly updates with the prescription drug coverage actually depends on the federal government allowing us to do importation, things like that. A lot of things that are obviously very important to you and your family, much like mine. So this week was the anniversary, the 11th anniversary of what's referred to as Citizens United, a ruling that the Supreme Court handed down about money and free speech. Something that I have not supported, throughout my entire time. What they had here was that corporations are people, and people have every right to spend as much money as they want to get their point across. I think this has been a very unfair ruling, certainly upset the way that we traditionally knew elections to operate. Now you have corporations that have billions of dollars that can put as much money as they want in elections to get the people that they want so that they can keep making those billions of dollars. I think, having fair elections is important, and I've always supported that. But when everyday working class people can't compete because they don't have the bank account that some of these mega corporations have, I think that's really unfair to everyday citizens across the United States. And so we really need Congress to step up and do something to change how money in politics is done. Much like here in Maine, where some people had really great forethought to put in the clean elections process, where I think about 80% of House and Senate members in the governor's race are able to use. And it means that people aren't beholden to corporations or anyone really, as far as the money that they're able to spend on their elections to get elected. And I just think that it's obviously really, really important that people, a handful of people don't control elections because they have the biggest pocketbooks. And this Citizens United certainly put them on a very unlevel playing field. And also this week, we started having public hearings, meet and greets, where the committees actually were meeting with interested parties, people that work in different agencies that come before those committees. And so we are well on our way to starting having bills that have the public hearings and things like that. This is the normal process that the legislature has worked under throughout my entire time and going past. Bills have to be submitted, drafted by the nonpartisan office, then sent to various committees. Those committees take those bills and start with the public hearings. But oftentimes the beginning of that process is having parties of interest come before those committees and introduce themselves to legislators. So that's where we are right now. It's very much in line with the way we have been in the past. Like I've talked about before, this is going to be a virtual public hearing setting now, where people all across the state are going to be able to interact much easier than in the past. So very excited that has started, and I believe next week we'll start actually having public hearings and get even further into our work.